What's going on, guys? This is your boy EK1 Gaming here, and today's video we're going to be taking a quick look at the TU9 full patch notes, and I'm going to basically dissect it and just give you the good information rather than having to read through that huge load of patch notes. If you do want the whole patch notes, the link will be in the description below for you guys to go and take a look. But for now, I'm going to go through the key changes and key notes so you guys are aware of what's happening. So first of all, we're going to start with what changes are coming to the exotics. So we have a change to the Sawyer's knee pads. This is a pretty good change as well, in my opinion. So while you're wearing these knee pads, you cannot be staggered by explosions, and you get an increase in total weapon damage by 3% each second you are not moving. So that stacks up to 10 times. So you're going to get 30% if it's a full stack. As soon as you start moving again, you lose the stack. So in my opinion, if you're just in cover, you're not moving, you are going to gain up to 30% extra weapon damage. Now, this exotic only provides defensive attributes and no brand bonus. So basically what it's saying is there's no talent or brand bonus on there. So it now has the potential for high damage and makes it appealing to both red and blue builds, which is pretty cool if you ask me. I think they've done a really good job on the changes to the knee pads. Now let's take a look at the one change that they've done to the Diamondback, and it basically grants all shots guaranteed crits for 5 seconds after hitting a mark. There's nothing really much to say about that. You get 5 rounds, hit the first shot, and then you get 4 guaranteed crits as long as it's within 5 seconds. There is also a couple of holster changes. So the Imperial Dynasty is actually getting a buff. I thought this was going to get a nerf, but however, they've reduced the cooldown to 35 seconds from 40. Not a big deal, but I mean, they are quite annoying in the dark zone when you just run next to somebody and you are on fire. Now they can do that even faster for you. So the Dodge City Gunslinger is also getting a change as well. So it's reduced charge up time to 30 seconds, and that used to be at 50 seconds. And just to finish off the exotics, the Merciless is getting a buff. It's going to be explosion damage increased to 1,200% up from 900%. The Lady Death is no longer going to enhance turret skills. The Bullet King base damage is now the same as the non-exotic LMG version, which is going to be interesting. And then the exotic attribute roll quality, so basically the quality of the rolls that you're going to get on exotics is going to be slightly changed. There is going to be a minimum exotic roll, and that's going to be regardless of the difficulty that you play or what you obtained them in. So if you get them on normal, you're still going to have the minimum roll as if you got it on heroic as minimum roll. So there's going to be a set minimum. So they can still roll higher than the minimum, but the minimum rolls are now higher than they used to be. So you're not going to get one with like 1%. So there's going to be a minimum drop roll on each exotic item. So let's take a look at weapon changes. Let's go. So you could probably hear the excitement in my voice. They're not changing the M1A or any rifles. What? They said they were going to change it, but they clearly either left it out the patch notes or they're not going to do anything with it. The only change is assault rifles. They're increasing the maximum roll of damage to health to 21%. Players on Stadia will not see this be displayed correctly and instead see an increase to damage to health on other weapon types. This is a UI issue only. I don't care about this, the Stadia, but they're not changing the rifle. Let's go! However, with every bit of good news, there is bad news. And the first piece of bad news is the contractor gloves. The damage to armor has been lowered to 8%. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, which is kind of okay. Firm handshake, the status effect increased to 15%. Status effect builds are going to be crazy now. Ammo dump now correctly rolls 2 additional attributes. Claws out now correctly has a skill tier core. A core attribute roll now correctly rolls on an attribute in addition to pistol damage and melee damage, and the melee damage has been increased to 400%. Now another sad one, Fox's prayer knee pads, they have been lowered to 8% from 12. The Hollow Man damage to health has been lowered to 10%. Punch drunk headshot damage has been increased to 20%, which is good if you can land headshots. And send off, they basically removed perfectly rooted talent from that. So now we're quickly just going to look at the skill changes. There's not really much to talk about. Apart from the sharpshooter's tactician skill base radius has been increased to 50 meters. And scoping is now enabled when using a shield skill. So if you were using the focus with the shield where you didn't have to actually zoom in on scope, you now can't do that. It's been fixed. Now, surprisingly as well, there's only a few gear set changes. Well, literally one gear set change. True Patriot. The white buff armor repair has been lowered to 2%/3% once every second. So they've changed the percentage of the armor repair. And next up, we're going to have a look at the loot/reward changes. And there's nothing really massive here, but increased power of dropped exotics to always be of the highest tier, giving the highest minimum rolls. Added Operation Dark Hours, raid, gear set, chest and backpack items to the general loot pool, making them available outside of the Operation Dark Hours. So raid gear is now available outside, but not the actual Eagle Bearer. So lowered number of exotic components awarded for exotic deconstruction. Basically, you used to get 2, or you'll still get 2 if you're watching this before the update, but after the update you'll only get 1 exotic component. And then they've lowered the conflict XP amount from PvP weekly projects to match the required XP for 1 conflict level. Pretty simple, pretty standard stuff. So a little one here, just some mission changes. We could probably see these coming a mile off anyway. The first one being Pentagon and DARPA research. Lowered the difficulty to be more on par with other missions. Liberty Island has also been lowered on the difficulty. Wall Street, they've reduced the health and the damage of the APC. Finally, that mission's going to actually be a lot easier now. You don't have to worry about that APC. And the Stranded Tanker, they've changed the composition of the NPCs. So they've just adjusted the composition there. Now let's take a look at the performance fixes. Now performance fixes today, or tomorrow should I say, fix several issues causing low frames per second in various side missions, fix the streaming issue in Haven at the beginning of the cinematic after the objective, meet Faye and Rhodes, fix the streaming issue players could encounter when starting the Pathway Part main mission. They fixed several streaming issues in the open world and fixed several performance issues during the Operation Dark Hours raid. Although there's nothing there to say they've fixed the frames per second in the dark zone, which I'm disappointed about, especially around extractions, which has been there for a long time. They have also not fixed the raid key bug, which I did a video on yesterday. So if you haven't seen that, I've got myself a little fix for that, how to actually get around it. So go and watch that video if you need help with that raid key bug. So now let's go into the AI/NPC changes. Now, signature weapons against named NPCs. Slightly increased damage signature weapons deal to named enemies. And the elite NPCs damage against player skills. So they've reduced the damage that NPCs do to player skills, the elite ones. Reduced the sprint speed of tank archetype from all hostile factions. So then big old Gregories can't run after you at 1,000,000 miles an hour. They've reduced the damage of all NPC shotguns and adjusted the range of some of the NPC shotguns as well. The status effect, reduced duration of poison and cleaners napalm and snare. They've also, any NPC with special ammo has the same UI indication as from the special ammo directive. Examples who this affects: outcasts who pick up special ammo from boxes, deployed their support archetypes, and bounties who spawn with special ammo. So you're going to have the symbol above them. Rogue agent changes. They've significantly reduced the armor of dynamically spawning rogue agents. So they're the horrible rogue agents that come in and they're like bullet sponges. To prevent this from being too large of a nerf in 3 and 4 co-op, a rogue agent can spawn with an armor kit which can repair their armor up to 70%. And they've slightly reduced the damage output of the rogue agents as well. So they're going to have a little boost down on the damage, so nerf on the damage, nerf on the armor, but they can repair their armor up to 70%. So their abilities are changed as well. Previously, certain bosses and bounties would magically overheal themselves and their fire team. This buff allies ability lacked clear messaging. So it's been replaced with a leader overheal ability. This is the same ability as the Riker's leader's archetype. Once the boss is killed, all their friendlies lose their overheal. The UI indicator of pulsating circles inwards and outwards on their nameplate signals when the ability is active. So I think that was like the green bar underneath as well. So that will all be gone once the boss is actually killed. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. I hope it just clarified everything that you need to know. If you do need to know the full patch notes, I will leave the link in the description below. Leave me your comments on what you think about the update and whether they're going to actually nerf the rifle or not, because it's not in the patch notes. But they have been known to add things to the patch notes after the actual update, which is a bit naughty, but they do that. So let's, fingers crossed, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next video. Let's go!